We're a quarter of the way through the season. Bye week. Got a lot of these NASCAR Cup teams kind of take a breather, kind of focus on what they've done the first 9 races. Was it 9? How many races have we had this year? 8 or 9?
9.
9. So we're officially a quarter way through the season. Kind of reflect on some guys and teams that are surprising, in the points, maybe a win, and disappointments. It's kind of like picnic or panic a little bit, but it's a little different. We're just kind of broad, general, talking about who's kind of been surprised, who surprised us throughout the whole season, who's disappointed us throughout the whole season. So, Riley, give me one of your surprises of 2025 so far.
My first surprise is kind of goes both ways, and it's different than what you might expect that I was going to open up with. So it's surprise and
It's both.
And what was the other one?
Disappointment.
Disappointment at the same time. I'm going to look at Connor Zilic in the Xfinity Series. That motherfucker is fast every week. I mean, he's probably the fastest car out there every week. That's surprising to me. But you've also got the disappointment of motherfucker finished 32nd
He only won one race
every week, and he's only won one race, and that was the road course. But he's on the pole every other week. He he's swept the stages at Martinsville.
He was on the pole for the Rock.
Yeah.
He had a flat tire coming to the checker.
I mean, just
Still had the pole, but yeah.
Has some bad luck going for him, but still, he's locked in the playoffs, so you can have these issues when that happens. But surprising because he's a road course guy, doesn't have a ton of experience on ovals, but and to be fair, that 88 car is not like known for being that fast, right? Like it's not.
Well, it was their all-star car the past several years.
Yeah, I mean, but it wasn't like winning races every week. It wasn't qualifying on the pole every week, and they're kicking ass on qualifying day and in the first 2 stages of races, which is surprising to me, especially on the ovals. But it's got to be disappointing knowing you're that fast and not getting it done, not things not going your way. So Connor Zilic is going to be a problem. I know I've said this for a couple years now on the podcast. Connor Zilic is going to be a problem, but he's got to be disappointed with the finishes he's getting.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you on that one because he usually has the track position every week, but he finds a way to lose it.
Yeah.
Now this past week at Rockingham was a freak thing. Got the pole, got a flat tire, come to the checker, just like, and you can't do anything once qualifying's over. She got to change the tire or something. He had to go to the back of the field. Also lost track position at a track repaved, kind of tough to pass. Got up there, but had problems towards the end with the people running out of gas, and I think he cooked it into one and spun out. He's beside maybe Jeb Burton or somebody. I can't remember who it was, but yeah, it's a good one. One of my surprises so far, quarter way through the season, I'm gonna go the Cup side. I'm gonna go with Bubba Wallace. I've kind of said this off and on throughout the season, but Bubba's had great speed this year. You could argue he's had the fastest car most weeks at 23:11, and that's his teammate. Is probably one of the more talented guys in the series with Tyler Reddick beside him. So. They just got to figure out how to put some more finishes together. I think they have race-winning speed. Now, I think Bubba has to work on his racecraft towards the end of these races. I feel like, at Homestead, you saw this very, very frequently. He kind of just faded throughout the end of the race. When you get these guys that are up front fast all day and towards the end of the race, I feel like the top guys they turn up another notch on the intensity, on their driving skill, on their aggressiveness, and stuff like that, getting all they can. And Bubba's still lacking in that department a little bit, just based off what we saw at Homestead, some other tracks. So, but they've got the speed, and for them and his crew chief, I forgot his name. Do you remember his name? It's a new guy. It's a weird name. I forgot. I apologize for his name, but it's not JT.
Fucking JT Dang.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna say that. But yeah, for them to be first year crew chief, driver combo, they've done great. Fast off the truck. one of the more faster Toyotas week in and week out. He's always one of the fastest guys in practice. So they got the speed down. They just got to put their racecraft together. But this is definitely the best start to a season that Bubba Wallace has ever had.
Charles Denick.
Yeah, Denicky. I think it's how you say it. Denicky.
It's Denicky, but it's spelled Denick.
Yeah. So, so it's a good start. You got to learn how to, put a full race together for that 23 team. And Bubba's, I'll give credit to this as well. I know it's been a pretty good start to the season, but Bubba has not said anything crazy, not, trying to get attention, it seems like. All these Bubba
Hadn't right hooked anybody into the fence.
He hasn't done that, but it's a different Bubba that I'm seeing this year. He seems more confident, and he just kind of seems more comfortable in his own skin.
Had a kid.
Yeah, not letting the outside people get to him. Not worried about that. Worried about just making his race car go faster and him doing his job behind the wheel.
I knew he was gonna get fired if he didn't shut the fuck up. I think
that might be it. But yeah, my biggest surprise so far, 2025. One of my biggest surprises has been Bubba Wallace.
Yeah, that's a good one. He has been really fast, and like I've said plenty of times on this podcast, I used to really like Bubba. I thought Bubba was.
He's acting more now like he was when
exactly,
he was,
and that's what I was getting
yeah,
at. He's
back in the day.
he's kind of winning me back over.
Still won't ever cheer for him. He's driving Toyota. But,
yeah, driving a Toyota. I'm not really a huge fan of people that blast their politics and try to shove them down your throat and all that stuff. But it is what it is on that front. But holding the purdy will, as Clint Boyer would say, so got fast race cars. So you're right on that one. Disappointment, obviously, Brad Keselowski.
31st or 30th?
Yeah, just god awful. I mean, even when he's fast, he fucks it up. So, granted, the wheel falling off at Darlington wasn't his fault, but when it rains, it pours. Just ask Luke Combs. But just a really bad season so far. Granted, win can change anything. He can go out this weekend and win Talladega.
You'll be strong contender.
I would not be surprised if he did, and that would cure everything. You're in the playoffs, and it is what it is. But when you look at what's going on at Roush right now, RFK, you've got two cars in the playoffs. One of them's Ryan Preece, who's never finished better than 25th in points, and you've got Chris Buescher, who has pretty much outran Brad Keselowski since Brad got there. Granted, there's a race here or there Brad should have won that he didn't. Bristol, the race that Chris won, Brad probably should have won if he didn't have a tire issue. But then on the other hand, the race Brad did win in the 6 car, Chris should have won. This could be a similar Ty Gibbs situation as where it just takes one. Once they get a good run going.
Well, they changed car chiefs at the 54 too.
Yeah,
took one from Spire,
and that
really
could
good.
be some of the problem over there because there were some races even with Matt McCall where Brad just was non-existent. I mean, I remember some Phoenix races, they weren't that good, and Bristol last year. Sometimes they show up to these tracks where you expect them to be fast and they're just non-existent in that 6 car. And that's disappointing because Brad's a better driver than he's being able to show right now. Now, granted, he is a little bit older. I don't think he's really a championship caliber driver anymore, but he should be contending for top 10s. There's no reason that Ryan Preece and Chris Buescher should be whooping his ass on pretty much every occasion. And granted, I do think Chris Buescher is a better race car driver right now than Brad Keselowski, but I don't think Ryan Preece is. And I think that's a lot to do with the car, but, it's just disappointing. Obviously, I'm a Brad Keselowski fan, but even if I wasn't, that's got to be a hard pill to swallow, watching those guys beat you every week.
I got some inside intel about Brad. My wife, one of her, family friends, they were on a field trip at Charlotte Motor Speedway the other day, and there's somebody practicing out there on the track. Guess who it was?
Chris Buescher.
It was Brad Keselowski.
It's going to be my second guess.
Yeah, he needs all the practice he can get. So he might be a problem at the 600 now.
Hey.
He's getting some practice in at Charlotte.
Was it a tire test or something?
Probably. I'm not sure, but they were asking, who the hell is this Brad Keselowski? And my wife's like, "Oh, it's Trent's best friend's favorite driver." So I was like, "Oh, he sucks."
Second favorite driver.
Who's your first?
Bubba Wallace.
Oh, okay.
No, it's
Wow,
Chris.
you done flipped the switch on that.
It's
Oh,
Chris.
because Chris is better right now. He's the fastest one. He's faster than Brad week in and week out. Is that why?
It's been Chris.
Nah, you've liked Brad more than Chris.
No.
Yes.
I told you when Brad came over, Chris was 1, Brad's 2. Because
don't
Chris has
remember
been
this.
at Roush
I
longer.
don't remember this conversation, but good for you. You're not as gay as I thought you were.
But it's 1A and 1B.
Yeah. Like me with Blaney and Chase.
Yeah. Well, no. Chase is your favorite driver.
I don't know.
He just
anymore.
sucks, so
I
you
don't-
have to root for Blaney.
I don't know, man.
And
I've said this.
they're both bitches.
No, they're not. I've said this.
My leg!
I relate to Blaney more than I do with Chase. But I always have to cheer for a Hendrick, especially Jeff Gordon's old team. I always have to cheer. Not saying I don't like Chase Elliott anymore, because I do. Yeah, he's still one of my favorites. But Blaney, I find myself looking at that 12 car more often on Sundays now than I do for the 9. It's really close, but it's really fucking close to Blaney being 1A compared to 1B.
The problem with that is Blaney's a bitch.
Oh my God. Anyways, my disappointment. One of my disappointments for 2025 so far. Give me William Sawalich
Yeah.
in the Xfinity Series. 25th in points. He is still. I get a lot of stuff like last week. Part of that wreck with him and Catherine Legg, part of that is on him. You run in the back of somebody in a regular day, you're going to get most of the blame for it. I think it was 50-50, but it's part of you got to use some self-awareness there. But you're 25th in points, no top 10s, obviously no wins, no top 5s, no stage point, no stage wins. Eric Almirola ran 4 races. Same team, same equipment. Granted, he won at Phoenix. He is, what is that? 225, 268. 43?
No, 25 and then 18. Yeah, 43.
43 points above William Sawalich. He's ran 6 less races than William in the same team. Some stuff has just been bad luck for William. But eventually, you got to get off the pot. Like, you got to start putting some races together. Joe Gibbs Racing, they're, quote-unquote, the best team in the Xfinity Series year in and year out. Got the most speed most of the times. Junior Motorsports has kind of had a revival here this year. Past couple of years, they were struggling a little bit with speed, but Joe Gibbs mainly has been the fastest team in the Xfinity Series for over a decade, 15 years since they joined Toyota, 2008. So, like, you can't be 25th in points in a Joe Gibbs racing car. You got to figure it out. So, extremely disappointing. He was very good in the ARCA Series, but we've seen the ARCA Series past 10 years just take a huge decline, huge dip. You can't really take anything away from that series because there's only like 4 competitive cars week in and week out in that series. And so he's getting a taste of what, other guys that are at his level on talent and skill, and he's not showing up when it counts at the end. So he's got to figure this stuff out. He can't be 25th in points. He's got to get some good finishes together, get some good runs going. And he's got to win a race. Joe Gibbs Racing, you're expected to win a race. Your teammate, Brandon Jones, has already won a race. Eric Almirola, part-timer's already won a race. Taylor Gray should have won Martinsville. Your teammate didn't, so he's still in that pot. He's still in that. At least he's shown race-winning speed, though. I feel like William, at times he's shown it, but he never finishes the job. Sometimes his own fault, sometimes not his own fault. But you got to figure it out. Can't be 25th in points. So, William Sawalich is my biggest disappointment. I'm not mad about it, but, he's got to figure it out. Can't be running, can't be doing that bad.
You want one more?
Actually, let's change this up. With the week off, what's this Cup Series based? I'm going to give you one of each. With the week off, we've seen a lot it's kind of like a bye week in football. We've seen some teams that were good before the bye week come out after the bye week, and they just shit the bed. And we've seen it the other way. Get a bye week, been struggling, come out, and you're guns a-blazing. You're on fire. You start winning games left and right. Football, sports terms. Give me a team or driver for each of that category. Give me a guy. Let's get a guy first that is has ran pretty good, but you feel like with this bye week might take a dip, just based off your expectations and what you're expecting throughout the rest of the season for that team.
I'm trying to see where he is in points. I can't find him. Well, he's not a high in points as I figured he was, but he's running better than the points suggest, and that's the 2-car Austin Cindric. He has been.
It's with a 50-point penalty too.
Yeah, that's true. He has been probably on average the fastest, if not the second fastest, Penske car this year.
Whoa.
He's been better than Joey.
Yes, second. He's been the second on average.
Don't
you dare say the first.
He qualifies better than Blaney every week.
And he gets his doors blown off by lap 50.
Not all the time. That's why I said second mode. He
was running decent at Bristol.
There are some weeks where he's better than Blaney.
I think.
And,
couldn't pass.
But I don't expect that to continue. I think it's going to be more of the same as usual. I think Joey's going to find his stuff together like he does towards the end of the season, and kind of the modern day Tony Stewart type deal with him. But yeah, I think the 22 will overtake the 2, and of course Blaney is Blaney.
The GOAT.
In that aspect. But yeah, I don't expect to see qualifying or race speed to continue as fast as that 2-car has been to begin the season.
All right. Give me your guy that you think is down in the points, down in the dumps, and you think they're going to turn it around after this bye week. Going to get a second wind.
I think it's going to be Catherine Legg.
It could be.
I think it's got to be Eric Jones. Eric Jones has had a terrible year. He's 30th in points. His teammate faster than him every week, which is wild because it's John Hunter Nemechek, and that guy sucks. So I like Eric Jones. I hate that he's racing for Toyota, but there's no reason for him to be as slow as he's been. I think a bye week will reset that team. Obviously going to be competitive at Talladega this week. And as they go throughout the rest of the season, I think that team will get better, and John Hunter will probably fall off. At the very least, he'll start beating his teammate. There's still some good races for him coming down the line as well. So I look forward to seeing that Eric Jones 43 car moving up in the point standings from 30th, and hopefully the guy that's right behind him in 31st will follow him up through there. That's Brad Keselowski, by the way.
Who?
In 31st.
Oh, okay. See, he fell to 30 because he was 30th, right?
Eric Jones is 30th. Brad's 31st. I don't remember where they were.
Okay. So the guy that I think is going to kind of take a dip, has had a pretty solid start to the season, better than I expected, and you're not going to like this one, Ryan Preece. He's 14th in points. He's had some pretty good finishes. He's been the best Roush car at a couple tracks, which was surprising to me. He's the best Roush car at Martinsville. Was up there at probably had the best route of. Well, I don't know. Chris is good at Phoenix. He was up there too. Won a stage. I think didn't he win a stage? No, he won a. Did he win a stage?
He won stage 2.
Okay, he won a stage at Coda too, didn't he? So he's got 2 stage wins on the year. Kind of off strategy on both of them, but yeah, you look at the second half of this season, and I feel like a lot of the tracks that we're expecting Priest to be good at, the short tracks, we're done with them for a while. So I think he's going.
Only got 1 stage win. I thought he won 2.
It might have just won Coda, and he almost.
Yeah.
I don't remember. He finished second in the stage, I think, at Phoenix. That's what it was. So I think Priest is like he's not a bad guy. Like I don't not like him. I just don't think he's got the talent like Chris does, and like some of these other guys in points near him. Like you look at the guys that are near him in points right now. Like you got Chris Buescher. I think better talent. Same equipment, but I think better talent. Chase Briscoe, I think Chase got more talent than Ryan. Kyle Busch. Right now it's closer, but I think Kyle Busch still has more talent. Ross Chastain, more talent. Alex Bowman, more talent. Josh Berry, more talent. He's got to win, so really don't count with him. AJ Allmendinger, that one's debatable. Ricky Stenhouse, probably has got more talent than Ricky Stenhouse. But, that's what I'm saying. Like, a lot of these guys that are close with him in the points, I think overall throughout the rest of the season will kind of jump him or gain on him if they're ahead of him. And I think that's going to kind of put that 60 car in a must-win situation. And I just, the track's coming up for Priest. I just don't like it. First year in the 60 car, Brad's really struggling. I think they're going to really try to focus their attention on trying to get that 6 car up in contention for a win or just to gain some spots in the points, stop being so bad that it might hurt the 60 car. It might hurt 17 as well. But I think Priest overall throughout the rest of the season is going to kind of just slowly fall back. And he's going to have to win a race, I think, to make the playoffs. I don't think that'll happen unless it's at a super speedway this weekend, like a Talladega or like a Daytona in July or Atlanta or Daytona in August, Atlanta in July. So, I think Priest will fall back. Going to kind of – the honeymoon phase is starting to wear off in the 60 car, and I think they're going to start to fall back. The guy that I think is going to kind of get a second wind and start putting some finishes together because they have the speed for it is Carson Hocevar, 77 car. He's 25th in points. He's I can't remember. I forgot the playoff thing's weird. He's 25th in points, so he's a decent amount away from that cut line. But they have speed week in and week out. Now, it still scares me about Carson. He's a very aggressive driver. He kind of throws all caution to the wind to try to get certain positions. But he's a fast guy. If you have speed, you can eventually see that the finishes will start adding up, and he could get a win here and there. Almost won Atlanta. He was fast at Phoenix. Had a bad pit stop. He was fast at Bristol. Was third most of the day. Bad pit stop at the last stage. Cost him a top 5, possibly a chance to get a second place finish again. Maybe, who knows? Could have contended with Kyle Larson. Probably not, but we never know. So they have the speed in that 77 car. They just got to get it. They got to put a full race together with Carson, with the pit crew, with the crew chief. They have the speed. They're the best Spire car on speed week in, week out, not in my opinion. They're 25th in points, but I think they are a top 12 on the speed charts consistently every week. So that usually means if you can get your shit together, you'll start rising. Now, my problem is Carson is still a young driver. Spire is still a younger team that is now competing at the highest level against these other teams. That's what I'm worried about. But I think the overall speed of that 77 car will carry them to at least on the cut line, getting close to that cut line to where they can make a run in the points to make it on points in the regular season for the playoffs. Not saying they will, but I think Carson Hocevar will not finish the season in 25th place, in my opinion.